No for me, no, no, do not feel sorry. I see a politician in a Maserati. Before I buy me food, I buy me 2 new shawties. You kill a man in the government. No for me, no, no, do not say promise. Politician buy by dollar, they not honest. Before I buy me food, I buy me 2 new llamas. You kill a man in the government. No for me, no, no, do not feel sorry. I see a politician in a Maserati. Before I buy me food, I buy me 2 new shawties. You kill a man in the government. No for me, no, no, do not say promise. Politician buy by dollar, they not honest. Before I buy me food, I buy me 2 new llamas. You kill a man in the government.
Two brothers killed on their mother's lawn, both shot dead on Christmas morn. My homeboy has a shag, got a spike in his arm. The opposition mission is to do them harm. So you think we give a fuck who the president is? You think we give a fuck who the president is? You think we give a fuck who the president is? Hunger bad for the meth, she love it to death. A man can get a job with 2 F's on his chest. So we hit up F, they robbed the plug and then left. The plug came back around and blew up pops off the steps. So you think we give a fuck who the president is? You think we give a fuck who the president is? You think we give a fuck who the president is? He started to laugh and I didn't know why. He said we ain't scared of them bottom feeders, them boys in blue who be shooting at our people. Not the overseer but the architect of this hell. Men who dress well. Been on my homie Jack for a year. Couldn't find shit, wrote a letter, said your name is cleared. A knock at my door, 2 men with ties. Wanna talk to my brother, my brother, my brother, my brother, because a young man has died. of gray. The sun still shines away. The books protect her from rain. Don't mind when the kids complain.
What's happening? Benton here. Whoa. The fuck? Huh. Was not expecting that echo. Well, you learn something new every day, folks. Recorded live. What does that mean? That means I am not editing this bullshit. Well, Benton, why not a live stream? Good question. Not feeling it. For whatever reason. Stagnation? Perhaps? Depression? I don't even like that word. Not being prone to it. What's old Tom doing over here? Look at this fucking terrorist, man. Oh, man. What a mess. What a mess. Yeah, that's the thing is sometimes I still have things to say, even if I don't want to go live. I believe I scheduled a live yesterday, a live stream, and then canceled it at the last moment. Producer Moose is the only person I saw in the chat. Shout out to you, sir. Let's listen into Mr. Tom here. What's he talking about?
You haven't. I've held it for too long. Now I'm dropping it in this hour because we see a lot of people effing up these streets. And like Nat Chiquita's Do wrote in Art of War, you don't interrupt your enemies when they're fucking up. A little powder there. I don't know if it's too hot, not hot enough. Not doing a little thing. It's just two different oils mixed. Shouldn't be a big deal, right?
I don't know, Tom.
That's all I thought. We'll poof over the trash. Guys, if I was doing a serious fucking stream right now, you chatters wouldn't shut the fuck up if I wanted you to pay attention to something. You guys aren't even chatting amongst yourselves.
Yeah, I will admit to being a little over the chat.
Come on,
perhaps that's why I'm not live. I don't know. Hard to say. The investment of time and energy, certainly. Most likely my growth has peaked out. I'm always working on my skills, right? And then part of that is, my average, I look at stats like average, average live viewers. I think it's 36 over the last month or the last 90 days or whatever. So always trying to keep that up. You know, people who want to say, oh, the numbers don't matter, or why do the numbers matter? Yeah, those are people who don't have YouTube channels, or who have 20 subscribers and, 10 views on a 6-minute fucking vlog, out in their yard or whatever. And hey, God bless them. There's nothing wrong with that. But, my path is progress. So once I reach a certain level, I am used to seeing a certain number of views. Now, that's the thing about the pre-recorded material. I do understand that the views will be less. However, realistically, look at my last live stream, which is 885 views. Although, as we know, YouTube, that's bullshit. It's at least 1.2K minimum. They do but they do that to everybody. So the 885 is an accurate number, when compared to other channels in the community, right? What a dysfunctional community, by the way. But yeah, I have a regard for many of the individual chatters, right? But the chat collectively, now maybe it's my own issue. Maybe some of the other things I'm dealing with. I talked about, and I'm not eating, by the way, folks. I am almost fasting. I've been eating watermelon, and the only reason I'm eating watermelon is because it's the only way I poop. Yeah, if I don't eat watermelon, I don't poop, with some rare exceptions. And again, I already see, this is the great thing about no live chat. I don't need to concern myself with what my, utterances are going to elicit from the the peanut gallery, right? Who will immediately wants to loop into problem solving. Oh, wait a minute. So I can't use the soundboard from the laptop because it's echoing. Why is that? Echo. Oh. What's funny is it did not do this last time. That makes no fucking sense. Oh, well. I'll have to go to plan B. So I have the laptop set up with hotkeys, so I could have already played the audio drop I wanted to play. Now the fact is, the moment has passed, right? And I've lost what I wanted to talk about. The looping. That's right, the loop into problem solving. It seemed a little bit loud. Let's back that off a little bit. Looping. Indeed, sir, indeed. Wanting to solve my bowel issues. Well, most likely my bowels have been quite fucked for many years, and perhaps they are going to take this opportunity to heal, right? And then if I do manage to get back in a truck, that's right, still in the motel. In fact, the motel, my stay in the motel is up in like 7 hours or whatever it is, 8 hours. It's 2:31 Central Standard Time. What is today? December the 5th? The 6th? The 5th. And just, dealing with these companies, right? And it's an interesting thing because I was considering doing a live stream, and I wanted to talk about, I forget what I was going to call it, but it had something to do with, just the collapse of society, how people are no longer functional. But some are highly functional. When I went for my drug test, for example, last Wednesday, that functioned, as far as I know. Now, but did it? Because either the results have yet to come back, or the company that's attempting to hire me is, and this is what I want to get into. So yeah, the at least whatever functions were performed while I was at the drug testing place, that was a pleasant young lady, and it seemed like an LGBT type somewhere on there, but short-haired gal, I guess in her 20s. She seemed with it, right? But then again, I guess she's a phlebotomist because, she was the one that handled the samples and everything. So who knows if she managed to get those into a FedEx package and sent them off or not. Then it's like, oh my God, I was vaping the fuck out of the THCO, the alt cannabinoids. But then I know it's been at least 6 weeks since I've had any cannabis. Although I have been fasting, so I've been getting a little, not even paranoid, just it was like, oh man, did I actually manage to fail this thing? Although I've never failed a drug test in my life. In fact, I remember at one point I was a heavy smoker, but just flower. And I just took like a week off and drank a bunch of water, and was fine. But, I'd studied up on drug testing. They say, you don't want to don't put like the first part or the last part of your urine stream into the cup, don't go in on your first piss of the day, things like this. But yeah, I've never failed a drug test. Would be astonished if that happened this time. So now we get back to the company that's trying to hire me, and just reviewing. And it's not just this company. It seems like it's many companies where I've detected that. Well, and to back up a little bit, it seems like onboarding takes forever. I know. Shout out to Keith, highly suspect, who works in I believe paper mills or wood mills, mills as a maintenance engineer. And he had taken a new job at a different mill, and he was very frustrated because it seemed like it took him damn near a month to start work, right? And this is something else I've observed. Even going back a few years, it seems like pretty much anybody I've known that's taken any sort of job that wasn't just, bottom feeder, fast food, retail or whatever, it seems like it takes a long ass time to actually get onboarded. Now, I wonder how much of that is, these HR people, these people who work in offices, again, Monday through Friday, right? 8 to 5. How much of that is them just pretending to work or stretching out their work as much as possible, which is what I think is happening. Now, this is, probably a slow time to get hired in truck driving, but companies always need truck drivers. That's just the turnover is extremely high, industry wide, right? But truck driving is a nightmare shambles of an industry, and again, this society has collapsed, folks. Tom can push back all he wants. Yeah, I understand that society functions at a a very basic, level of there's still products in the stores, right? There's still, staff in the stores to some extent. But I would say society has definitely collapsed. It's no longer functional. So, what would have happened in the past was most likely I would have taken that drug test, early Monday morning. And in fact, this happened with my last truck driving job when I worked for Balk. And although, now we get to the spiritual aspects, and when I talk about being, guided and protected and blessed and all of these things, that was when I was coming out of my boozing. Oh yeah, wait a minute, I made some coffee, hang on. I'd been in bed for like 3 weeks or whatever it was. Before that I was sleeping in my car. But then I had no money, right? This was last summer. And I ended up, panhandling for several hours a day just to get the money to eat, which I think really helped with the healing at the time. That all that sunlight, I'm sure, was really good for me. So, you get to the old cliche of everything happens for a reason. But see, if that's true, then that also applies to what I'm going through now, meaning it's taking fucking forever to get back to work, right? Well, everything happens for a reason. Well, that applies to all the bad shit too, right? Or seemingly bad shit, because realistically, I would rather just keep chilling. I can tell I'm getting some really good healing, at the level of the depression and stuff. And again, I've never suffered from depression, right? This is something I've repressed, most likely. It seems to me I'm just now coming to this conclusion. And it's like in my fucking tissues, in my upper right shoulder, my upper back. So I've been doing like this pretty intense, it's hard to explain really, but, I've been working with those energies and those, it's a lot of pain, right? A lot of physical pain that I'm not necessarily in touch with. Again, now we're back to the repression. So what I suspect has happened is, so much oppression in my youth led to, the oppressive nature of my upbringing, and the religion and all of that, probably repressed a lot of depression. And I know I had like a pinched nerve in my neck or my shoulder as a teenager, and that's part of it also. I definitely have some nerve damage in that region, but, you know, I suspect that can heal. And like a decreased range of motion. So I've improved the range of motion of my shoulder and all of these things. And again, wait a minute.
Looping.
We're going to loop back into the problem solving. Look, I'm on it, folks. I'm on it. I promise you. I know, and I realize I never quite finished up on the views when I was talking about the views. So this video, what am I going to get? You know, maybe 250 views, right? But oh, well, who cares about views? Everybody. Like, if nobody cared about views, it wouldn't say views and have a counter on the screen. Like, everybody cares. Everybody notices. Everybody pays attention. Now, we can pretend. Folks can pretend. Now, some folks legitimately don't care, right? That's probably true. There's always exceptions to everything. I'm speaking generally. Collectively, the group cares. You know, it does make a difference. And then, you know, of course, I'll admit to... but then again, I am quite competitive, right? So part of that competition is I never want to see the shit go backwards, you know? So... But then, like, look what I got to do to get 885 views, like 6-hour video, right? 6-hour live stream, rather. So actually, if you think about it, what am I going to do here? An hour and a half, 2 hours max? You know, we're probably not even barely 30 minutes in. And that was with a musical interlude. Yeah, 22 minutes. So yeah, this thing's an hour and a half. Well, that's another thing. See, on the prepared videos, I'm not sure that the length matters as much. Right? I could probably... I don't know, it's 250, because if I do a live stream for an hour and a half, you know, what are the views going to be? Like, probably about the same, right? I think what's happened is stretching these things out to these long streams, it pumps up, you know, it pumps up the views because people leave and come back and leave and come back and leave and come back, obviously. But it's, you know, more or less the same folks. Although, you know, there is, you know, if I start at 3 a.m, like, more folks are waking up and arriving. So, you know, it's a whole thing, right? So the point I'm making about the depression and all of these things, and I feel fine, right? But, you know, there's certainly some negative emotional states associated with, you know, processing all of whatever this is, you know, this stagnated energies, right? Which I'm happy to do. It's fine. And again, I do enjoy... You know, I'm a type. I'm attracted to some of the self-flagellating, you know, aspects, right? I'm just sitting here watching Tom. Let's check in with Tom real quick. He looks like he's talking.
I'm not mad if you're not. I need to know if you're still here, Spoon.
Tom, you're buffering.
Oh man, numbers are going up with no chat still. We got 23 people that aren't chatting shit. Where's Smith? We got...
I think I was the only one who had posted in the chat. It was
Nobody's
interesting.
chatting shit. Oh, Spoon, you're still here. So Spoon, we should organize another So the Fuck What.
Was that a person?
So the Fuck
Spoon?
What? This is how much of my So the Fuck What. Hold on, I don't know if I'm cam. Fuck up. I've sewn the fuck up this far. I still got 2 more elements that go back
there's a
here.
chat. It's just going
across
slow.
The back of the shoulders. I got another Akira from the front of this shirt. This is the back of a shirt they got ripped in a hoodlum fight back in the day. The front part will go on here somewhere. We got the service dog.
All right.
So yeah, So the Fuck What stream. I need to...
Yeah, Tom's just fucking around. So that's what I mean is like, yeah, I know I can go live at fucking, you know, 2 a.m. to 25 people, right? Especially now that I'm not on a schedule. And that's another thing people, I think that's, you know, an aspect of live streaming that a lot of folks I don't believe they really consider is that, you know, being on a regular schedule, it pumps the numbers up big time, right? Versus just randomly going live. But, you know, I did a podcast. Well, actually, I've done several podcasts. You know, There's been times I just talked for 50 hours, although not in a row, obviously, but talked for 50 hours into my digital audio recorder driving a truck, and then erased the card and then did another 50 hours. So it's not like I won't talk, can't talk. I mean, who cares at the end of the day, right? And again, none of this is going to amount to a hill of beans, as we see that North America is in a state of collapse, right? And it's not going to turn around. You know, it doesn't matter who the president is, right? And it's interesting because I watched a little bit of a truck driving video about some of these trucking companies going out of business and all about the rates and just the state of the industry and all of this. And, you know, then reading the YouTube comments and just how many folks want to just make jokes about Biden pooping his diaper or whatever, right? As if things would be any different with a Republican in. And people say, "Oh well, look at when Trump was president." Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the whole country shut down. So what are you talking about? Oh well, yeah, the job market improved for a time when Trump first became president. Sure, that happened, but then a fake pandemic happened. So yeah, just patiently waiting to get back in the truck, which I'm starting to actually look forward to a little bit. I have to say, I do enjoy the driving part. It's the navigating all the rest of the bullshit. But yeah, just, you know, really seeing these people for what they are. So I hear nothing on Thursday, of course, you know, because I expect, but I know it's possible that the results, you know, generally, like I said, when Balkan hired me, they were on top of that shit. And I know there was somebody at that company just like calling the drug testing people like, "Hey, are the results in yet? Are the results in yet?" They were trying to get me on as quick as possible, right? You know, these Bosnians, the guy that owned it's Bosnian, and a lot of the people that work in the company are Bosnian. They were all, you know, he had them all motivated to, you know, produce, you know, at the time. And apologies for the rambling nature of this. Certainly not my intention. But it's working out that way. So they had me on a bus to Kansas City, and I picked a rig up at a Kenworth dealer, right? And they had me, I think I delivered 3 loads before I ever made it to the company terminal. Like they, you know, these folks were motivated, right? Versus now and it's not just this company. I've detected it in several other companies that have contacted me, where it's these people are pretending to work, right? And I think what's happened also is, you know, with Thanksgiving and then Christmas, I think folks pretty much just shut it down. A lot of folks just shut it down mentally, you know, right around Thanksgiving. And, you know, I guess they'll come back after New Year's, presumably. But then January is historically slow, right? For business, just in general. Isn't that how that goes? Again, the country's in a state of economic collapse. It's not coming back. You know, the boom is all over in Asia. Right, it's not here. The boom was here. It's not here anymore. And y'all can bright side that till you're blue in the face. I'm not interested. Yeah, I redid the soundboard recently, and so now I was thinking of I had a Paul Unslaved, I'm not interested clip, but for some reason, that one didn't make the cut. I now see that was a mistake.
Praise God. Every fucking time.
Yep, that's right.
Bozo.
Indeed, sir, indeed. Or did it? Wait a minute. Maybe it did. Nope.
I'm pimping on you.
I didn't give you any cash.
I'm pimping on you.
I didn't give you any cash.
Looping.
It can be hard not to hop from live to live sometimes, and
Fuck you, faggot. You're never getting a piece of pussy in your fucking life.
Grace Thorpe.
It's you. You're the fucking agent, dude.
Hello, fellas.
What the fuck is your problem, dude?
Oh, yeah. Let's go to a musical interlude. I think I like this song. This is a new BLP Kosher, the rapper from rapper/skateboarder from Florida This is with Young Lean. Violent Lullaby.
Dixon grinding, I be grinding through the dirty snow. Halloween mask with like 30 holes, 30 flow. Maybe you don't feel me, but you heard me though. Hurry though, feel like Leatherface in my furry coat. Worried so, lullabies you sing, they don't work no more. Work no more.
She don't sing the song stuff that it don't work no more. She used to tuck me in the bed, but now I'm hurt alone. Let the hummingbird sing me to bed. It's the wrong lullaby, I wish it were you instead. Let the hummingbird sing me to bed. It's a violent lullaby, I wish it were you in bed. I ain't Swedish, but if I get the drop, I'm finna stop Holmes. Keep your eyes ahead of the curve and watch out for the potholes. He was trolling, now he in a box, them boys box trolls. He used to rob, now he a fed, but he Sherlock Holmes. I put a silencer on the K, I put the K in knowledge. Me and Mo is still on campus, we don't go to college. Me and Lean straight bars, non-alcoholic. Screaming, do it like Shia LaBeouf, shit be getting
Fall in
ballin'.
love with Lean, don't wanna leave, she got the syndrome. Zero journey through the forest, feel like Barry Lyndon. Never cared about these labels, did it myself on my day ones. Playing chess with death, I'm leaving clues like Earl Wyndham. Let's go.
Let the hummingbird sing me to bed. It's the wrong lullaby, I wish it were you instead. Let the hummingbird sing me to bed. It's a violent lullaby, I wish it were you in bed.
Let the hummingbird sing me to bed. It's a wrong lullaby, I wish it were you instead. Let the hummingbird sing me to bed. It's a wrong lullaby, I wish it were you instead.
Sad boys, emotional boys, they got the dreidel man in Sweden, drain gang, water, world affairs, all that lean.
Dreidel man, dreidel gang, always spin the dreidel, even if it's fatal. Young lean doer, let's go.
Oh yeah, well we might as well listen to this one.
Aquí estoy, moco.
Spud Boy.
También tus
I'm sorry,
amiguitos,
Spaz.
Pero no por mucho tiempo. Tienen
Yeah,
algo
this
que
is an
decirte
interesting song.
y lo van a gritar. Escúchalo detalladamente, porque tú dirás lo mismo cuando Dios te visite.
1 minute and 2 seconds. Hell, it's almost over. Hasn't even started. Yeah, was not expecting the banjo there. Assuming that's what that was. Interesting. Interesting indeed. Oh, man. Another thing I enjoy about the pre-recorded is if I feel like this is too trash, I just won't even put it up, right? And I guess there's always the option of private. Just, or unlisted, rather. Just send it to certain special folks. That's probably a tad too self-indulgent. All right, we'll check back in with Tom. Then I got something for you. Oops.
I ain't gonna sting y'all. That's my choice. So, if you guys want this feeling, a similar feeling, not many people that watch the Dr. Disrespect video make it to the end, because it is kind of hacky, gimmicky, the way I just put him to the beat. Not as impressive as I did with Truth or Flop. But at the end, there was this motivational thing he did back in the day Can't remember if I was homeless yet or if I was just having bad times. But he gave this motivational thing around Christmas that like really hit home with me. And I would like go back and watch it from time to time for motivation. And then these days I had an idea, oh, because of the stuff he's joking about, like rich people problems or high money gamer problems, it would be funny if he was telling these stories around the fire in the apocalypse, post-apocalypse. And that's what he's doing. So you should go check it out sometime. And maybe watch some of the pre-made videos. I know live stuff is fun. I know interaction is fun, pleb. A lot of value in my production stuff, only getting better. Yes, Tyson, we covered it. Not how all, and I never said I was a millionaire. I said I will be pretty soon.
Hundreds of thousands.
I became hundreds of thousands there, and it was on methamphetamine, and it was in the stock market. I never, whenever
well, and that's another thing. Yeah, we just
people call me the
we do believe that folks do make money trading, right?
Coins I'm
in the markets.
I've disclosed that already.
I mean, that is a thing, isn't it?
Like in profit off of them. I haven't sold for any profit because it's going to be the new money. That's pretty much confirmed. Not to plebs, but to anybody with eyes to see and investigation to look. It's going to be the new money. Yes, it was in the hundreds of thousands. And that's why the stock market is the most expensive education, because I have made a lot of money. Also watched a lot of money that could have been mine go away. And you just have to have that Zen. You have to learn that Zen. Zen is the best head for the classic stock market. I don't know what it will be in this new economic world. But Zen head
people are just dumb, man.
For the stock market, because ironically that head also doesn't desire the money you're trying to make. But to make that money, you must not want it. You must sit through fear. You must sell in confidence. It's always better to wish you had more of a stock than to wish you never had it or had as much of it. Because when you want more of it.
Yeah, you know, I'm not into the trading so much, but my dad, I've mentioned before, started trading in the 90s, day trading, which I know Tom's not talking about day trading, but I do know he watches the markets every day. In case he needs to make some moves. But yeah, folks don't seem to comprehend, you know, using money as a resource for specific goals. It's just like, oh, he says he has wealth, therefore he must live a certain type of way, right? So now, because a person claims to have material wealth, if that person doesn't live in a way that visually appears to meet our idea of what, you know, a person with wealth lives like, then they can't be wealthy. Except I'm from Arkansas. Many folks back in the 80s and 90s became millionaires, right? Some of them in the tens of millions, literally, from working at Walmart from very early on in the company. And you got a lot of folks in Arkansas that just start working somewhere, and that's just where they work, you know, from then on. You know, 20, 30, 40 years at Walmart, whether at the store level or, you know, at the headquarters or both, right? Well, that was the thing about Walmart historically, was that they offered stock to the employees. So the employees were able to get their retirement, or, you know, they were able to receive a certain amount of stock every year or whatever. And then they were able to buy some as well, maybe at a discount. I'm not exactly sure how that works. So you have a more of a culture of saving, or at least back then. So there's plenty of folks who just worked at Walmart, took, you know, all of the benefits, took all of the stock they could get, and just let it ride. So next thing you know, they have millions of dollars. Their net worth is in the millions, but they live the same way they were already living, right? A modest home in a subdivision somewhere. And, you know, a lot of these are family people with, you know, wife, kids, and all of this. You know, well, Tom being by himself, you know, how is he supposed to live, right? Meanwhile, I think he said he's moving into an apartment that's like $1,600 a month. I mean, how the hell is he paying for that? I can tell you this: if he's on any kind of government assistance, or even if he was getting a check from the government, he can't afford no $1,600 rent. Now you get into the possibility of Section 8, but he's never mentioned that. So it's none of my business anyway. But it's just I'm a little disappointed in folks who just have some notion of, well, he doesn't look like he's got $1 million. Well, it's like, well, number one, he never said he had $1 million. Now, what he's saying is that it sounds to me like when crypto reaches a certain level, he will have, what could be valued in the or like over $1 million, it sounds like. But if you listen to what Tom's saying, he's talking about the CBDC, getting rid of physical cash. So he seems to be wanting to have as much of the digital money in the future as possible, right? So that's a financial goal. So when I was living in the park in Eugene, Oregon, when I started my cigarette business, and as a homeless person, and my largest profit in one day was $40 just from rolling and selling cigarettes. Profit. That's not sales. That's profit. So the only way to accomplish that would be to have an amount of money in my wallet that I was not willing to spend. And in fact, after I had this cigarette business, I would leave town, and several other people, I got word later that several other people attempted this business. Nobody could pull it off. Why? Because none of those people had an ability to do what? Delay gratification. See? Delay gratification, meaning if they have $100, so after a couple of months of running that business, in order to make $40, that was 400 cigarettes, right? So to buy all of the materials on a daily basis, right, to make that many cigarettes, I need a certain amount of cash flow. It's like $100 eventually. At first I was doing it on like $20 of cash flow, but I was selling way less, right? And again, $40 was a lot of money to make in one day. I was probably, that was probably near the end, actually. So before that, I would say probably from the first time I got it going, I was probably making, I was probably averaging $15 a day profit, I'm assuming. So that was, what I needed. I could live fairly comfortably, living outdoors in the park in the summer, right? Trying to think what I was buying. A couple of beers, I guess. Some weed. I don't know. That's a good question. Fuel, fuel for the stoves. Hell, I don't even remember. But yeah, nobody else could delay gratification, meaning they couldn't have their cash flow in their pocket, go in a store and say, oh, I want this and I want that, and delay that gratification. See? So that's really what we're talking about. What's being projected onto Tom is this idea that, well, wait a minute, we see that the vast majority of the populace cannot delay gratification. So therefore, Tom can't possibly have all of this money, because if he does, how is he delaying gratification? What's called discipline, the continuous disciplining of one's mind, right? Which is what I'm doing in some way right now, because I'm a take charge type of person. I'm a bit of a control freak in certain ways. Like I want to, so back to the situation with this truck driving company, I want to, be up their ass, be calling them all day, right? Be sending them messages. Oh, well, what about this? What about that? It's hilarious, man. So Friday I heard nothing, which I suspected. And then anyway, I was already paid up through the weekend. I said, well, fuck it. I'll just, and by the way, I still need to, at some point, I still have to organize all of my things, right? And actually move out of this room. That's a whole nother issue. And a couple of times I started to get everything organized, but then I realized, well, it just, within like a couple of days, everything's unorganized again because I'm using, many of these items. So might as well. And I think once the sun comes up later on, my plan is to go down and, there's a bunch of bullshit in my car. So take all the crap out of my car and probably bring all that up here. And then certain things need to get thrown away and certain things need to get left out by the dumpster, just whoever wants them, right? The free box. But yeah, as someone who can delay gratification, it's easy for me to see. Yeah, it's very much possible that Tom has accomplished what he's talking about here, especially if you look at what crypto's done. Since when, 2020? Speaking of watermelons, by the way, Walmart's had some decent watermelons, so I'm going to cruise over there in a few hours. Hopefully they've still got some. I had 3 watermelons yesterday and a pineapple. But so then again, back to this thing where people are pretending to work. So first thing Monday morning, right, like 7:30, I get a text from the guy at the company, and he says something like, "Hey, did you get the results from your test yet?" But I don't receive they receive the results. I don't receive the results. So the old Benton I would have already started freaking out. Like, what's wrong with this guy? My blood pressure would have started going up. I would have been, not even that. I just would have been like becoming vigilant, like what's wrong? What the fuck's going on here? But no, I just expect this now. And so I just sent him a message back, and I was like, I was just basically like, yeah, man, I was about to ask you the same thing. Just made a joke out of it. Actually, I should probably, let me look on my phone here. This is under my driver's pulse, I think. Yeah, the app for getting hired as a truck driver. Messages. Yes, so it's when I get that message from him at 7:30 after nobody bothered to contact me Friday afternoon, which it could have just been a, hey, so yeah, first thing Monday morning, did you receive the results from your screen? Well, this is like I guess this is the recruiter. And I was like, good morning. I was just about to ask you the same question. But then there's this other lady who I've been communicating with on text. So I was like, yeah, I sent this lady a message. We'll see if she has them. So then I hear nothing from this guy all day long. Right. And then at 4:41, when he's about to leave for the day, he says, I will check. So what do you mean you'll check? You're leaving for the day, right? So this is it's obvious to me that this is a person who's making it appear like he's working, but who's not really doing work, right? And even it's almost like they're trying not to hire me, not because of any reason other than they just don't want to work. And at a certain point, they even had me on a conference call with this guy and one of the, I don't know, probably the fleet manager or something. And, I'm good at selling myself and I'm good at interviews and stuff. So I had no problem, overcoming whatever their fears were or whatever their concerns were. It was no big deal, right? And then so the lady, I texted her, texted her yesterday at 8:25 a.m. Hey, this is Jason. Do you know if my drug test results came back? So I get, let me check on this. Thanks. That's what I sent back. Then just radio silence. And then 1:18 p.m. I'm like, hey, any word yet? And remember, I've been going to bed at like 3:30. So it's like, I'm kind of want to get this fucking, whatever's going to happen, I'd like to get it wrapped up fairly early. So yeah, 1:18 p.m. Hey, any word yet? He was checking, and I don't know who the hell he is, by the way, but I haven't heard back. That was at 1:19. So I've heard nothing since then except for James at 4:41 as he's leaving, as he's getting ready to leave. It says he'll check. It's like, well, what do you mean? From your house? Like, what? Maybe he works from home. I have no idea. But so, yeah, it's just $40 a day in the motel. It's $800 a month. But the problem with that is if I had done another month, then, it would have been up December the 28th. That's right smack dab in the middle of the holidays. So I got to get hired. So it's $250 a week or $40 a day. So I did a week last week, and then that's up today. So I'll go give them $40 later. And I don't even care at this point. And, I'm halfway just, the main thing about going back to being homeless as far as in the streets, well, it's very dangerous. It's gotten quite dangerous. In fact, there's a serial killer, I think, down in Houston or somewhere I was reading about. And they've had several I don't know if y'all follow the news, but there's been several different serial killers who just basically wander around at nighttime and find sleeping homeless people and just either beat them to death or shoot them. Yeah, so that's a thing. Oh, yeah, this is what I wanted to talk about. Anyway, that's where I'm at. Society's collapsed. People aren't functional anymore for the most part. Most people are just faking it, right? Going through the motions. But then I already know, again, the loop into problem solving, right? Where is it?
Looping.
Where people will just say, oh, well, they'll say, well, why don't you do this? Why don't you talk to this other company? Why don't you talk to that other company? It's like they're all like this to some extent. Meanwhile, this is the company who's basically, I'm only going to drive where I want to drive. See, it's hard to find a company for what I do, which is, over the road, long haul, who won't try to send me to the Northeast or out West. It's like, no, I'm just doing, like the Southeast pretty much, and probably some Midwest. That's it. Some Texas probably. Like basically, I'm only going to be going to states that are constitutional carry states, except for Louisiana. I'm sure they'll send me down to Louisiana at some point. But yeah, I'm not going to these other places, man. I'm just not doing it. So, I could probably already be in a truck if I was willing to just put up with whatever. There's this company K&B that seems like they just hire any fucking warm body. Even them, though, because I even filled out an application with them. And they gave me the runaround to some extent. It's funny. I went online and, I filled out the application. Then they sent me this other application that it wanted me to like fill in my job history, even though they already had it. So I filled all that in and sent it to them. Then I got an email. It kicked it back to me. I filled it out again, and they just put me in a loop, right?
Looping.
It put me in a loop of just continuously filling out this fucking job history. So finally I was like, fuck it. If they want, again, I don't even want to work for them anyway, but, it's good to have a fallback, right? Because at some point I'll just be out of money and it'll just be like, I'll just have to fucking go for wherever I can, I'll just have to, anyway, I won't have to, I don't have to do anything, but it's interesting times, folks. It's very interesting. Facing the reality here on the ground in America, and just realizing there's no solving these problems.
Looping.
The loop into problem solving, and just people immediately wanting to go, well, do this and do that, and have you done this, and have you? There's nothing to do, folks. And by the way, that's a dismissal. That's a person dismissing reality. That's a person who's repressing reality. Who's not even repressing. That's a delusional person who just says they blame me for it, right? Because people don't want to face the reality that society is in a state of collapse. So when when the way I'm living is shedding light on the collapse, what the fuck is Tom doing here? Let's see what this, hang on, let's see what this is.
But I was cool with them because my dog has to walk back past them when they're out on the corner of the catwalk and shit. And I've always been nice to them. But one day, it was either when me and my old veteran neighbor that used to be here, it was either when we went to my land to camp for a couple of days or went to this range in full kit. And when we came back and had to carry our stuff in, we just like put full kit in on out the back of his Jeep so we didn't have to carry it all. So I put like my best body armor that we took on. It had all my fucking banana clips in it and shit. And they saw us carrying rifle cases wearing that shit. And they were like mesmerized. And ever since then, they've always kind of gave me that look like, that's the dude. That's the dude that'll straighten it out whenever the shit hits. And as if there's not enough brown sugar in here. A little jelly on that. We got Carnival Crumble. Look, you put that, man, you can put that on the top of a fucking.
By the way, look how people eat. It's, and I'm not picking on Tommy here, but it's everybody. I hear all this talk about, food and eating this way and all the processed garbage and the standard American diet. But the few times I've seen anybody in these communities show food, it's always processed garbage, just trash, fried food, breaded, fucking high fructose corn syrup out of a bottle here, whatever this sauce is, you know. And again, not picking on Tommy, just I noticed at a certain point, you know, what's his name? Morgan was showing the camera, you know, some kind of, it looked like fish sticks or something with some kind of, you know, sauce on top of it. It's just like, you know, it's basically a TV dinner or something frozen out of a box that he fucking microwaved. It's like, oh, it's fucking and people are like, oh, he's grubbing, you know. It's like, what? Are you kidding me? Like, really? Like, I'm done with the processed garbage. And in fact, that's what I was saying about homelessness, you know, other than how dangerous it's become. And it's always been dangerous, but now it's off the charts dangerous in some cities, apparently. But wait a minute. Let me kill Tommy's audio here. And it's off the charts fucking dangerous. It's the food, man. It's so hard to just get, you know, the food I'm going to be eating. So that's one of the major motivations for even going back to work at all is so fucking expensive for one person to eat, you know, just actual real food. Of course, I'm fasting and eating watermelon, so I don't know if that's even fasting, but once the old the guts, if the guts ever get fully cleaned out, then I'll probably just fast for a minute. I mean, what is this, Tom? I missed the part where he said what he was cooking. Oh, shit. It's going back to the icon.
Once again, though. Uh-oh. Did I leave? Did I leave? Okay, we're still here. Man.
Well, and in case you folks hadn't noticed, AI has infiltrated the channel. My new icon here, that's AI generated. And then so is the background. Let me see if I can show you this background, actually. Where's the overlay? Oh, there it is. There we go. Yeah, that's the AI art there. I've been using this site, dreamstudio.ai, I think it's called. So let's share that tab. Show you folks what's up with this. And I bought $10 worth of credits because none of these sites are free. You know, they'll give you just enough. Basically, if you go to one of these sites and start just generating images, by the time you halfway figure out what the fuck you're doing, you're out of the free credits. So, and a lot of them are by a monthly fee. But this one, I got 1,000 credits for $10. So I've been on this thing for hours. Like I've almost become addicted to it in some way. But I've used 400 of the 1,000. But it takes a while, man, to go. It took several hours to go through all of that. But let me see. This is kind of interesting. This one here. And I like art, as folks may know. This is a Basquiat-style graffiti art, mural background, abstract vector, dark purple and orange and red and yellow and black and white colors. It takes a minute to kind of figure out. Oh, and there might be some negatives too. They've got a negative prompt, which is like, what do you want to avoid? Let's see if there was a negative on that one. Nope, no negative. Here's another one, same criteria. And then there's different styles you can choose up here at the top. See, there's enhance, anime, photographic, digital art, comic book, neon punk. So we'll probably make a few and then get out of here. Here, we're right at an hour now. Yeah. Pretty cool, I guess. I don't know. Now, I've tried to get, basically, I wanted a background like this with these graffiti murals, but with a person in the foreground. And it's almost impossible, or I haven't figured out how to do it. Let's see. So I think the stuff's more interesting if there's an actual human figure. But see, like this has the Basquiat style graffiti murals, but I want a person in the foreground. And I just have not been able to accomplish that for the most part. Got close a couple of times, but never could quite make it happen. But yeah, if you're only listening, you might want to turn your screen on. If you're on your phones, we're showing AI art in this site, dreamstudio.ai. It's the easiest to use that I've found anyway. And it's not a monthly fee, which I like. But I found another one. I forget what it's called. That it's pretty fucking good too. However, it's like $12 a month or something. And you really don't get that much for your $12 because you're still limited. It's not unlimited. Like you're still limited on the amount of images. Because I don't even know how many I've done on, but it's been a lot. See, here's another. We got the graffiti murals, but I couldn't get the person. But then I got something like this with the person, and it has some graffiti, but it's not I want something that's a little more artistic, right? This was getting close, though, this one. Interesting. Basquiat style, intense, attractive, cyberpunk style, middle-aged Caucasian woman, head and shoulder forward facing, portrait in foreground, Basquiat style graffiti art murals on alley walls, nighttime, high-tech dystopian urban nightmare slum, high detail, contrasting colors, background and foreground, low resolution. And I don't know if the low resolution does anything. Trippy, though. See, this almost did it. This is probably the closest. We see that mural on the left. It's one of the ones that's closest anyway. Yeah. Comes up with some interesting stuff. Let me go back and find some of the prompts. I want to try to do some new ones. We'll do a couple and then we'll get out of here probably. And there's something like this. Why is this black and white? I don't know. It just came out black and white. No idea. So it just sort of does whatever it wants. And then there's some options down here like advanced. You got like prompt strength between 1 and 30. That tells you like how closely to follow your prompt, what you type in, I guess. But you can see this is, just hours of fucking around with this thing. All right, hang on. We're going to keep it moving here. Yeah, so this is the back. This is the one for this video. Yeah, this is the background I'm using right now, I think. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. This one's. I like that one too. That's pretty dope. I don't want to have so many suns though. I like that one too. It's fun to play around with. Here's a Van Gogh style. Van Gogh style simplified logo, high-tech dystopian urban nightmare, purple and red and orange and yellow colors, colorful background, blah, 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 blah. Actually, let's go back a little bit more. Yeah, that was 18 hours ago. I did a bunch with the Unabomber. a Unabomber sketch, but never could get anything that I tried a bunch, but never could really get anything I liked. Come on, Internet. What are you doing? Load. She's not loading, Captain. Maybe because it's from so long ago, maybe. Well, actually, that'll work better. We'll grab one of these prompts. Let's see what we get here. So we're going to generate a new one. Wait a minute, that's not enough instructions. Okay, never mind. That's still the Unabomber. That's still the Unabomber. And yeah, I'm not into dogs, but the crust punks, you know, the train riders, they usually have dogs. Bear with me, folks. I guess I could have prepared this ahead of time, right? I don't even remember some of these. Wow, that's pretty trippy. All right, we'll try this one. It says atavistic crust punks in foreground, collapse of society, heavy machinery, high-tech, post-apocalyptic, dystopian urban areas, dwelling, steampunk, purple and red and orange and yellow colors, colorful background, portrait, high detail, contrasted colors, foreground and background and foreground. So let's hit dream here at the bottom. My icon's covering that up. Scroll to top. It's doing 4 because I forgot to tell it to go to 1, so we're doing 4. And each image is 0.23 credits. So as you can see, the 1,000 credits goes quite a while, quite a ways. And I got negative prompt, white background, and cars. Oh, and we forgot to change it to 16 by 9, so we did a bunch of 1 by 1s. And then we never chose a style either, so let's choose a style, digital art. So that's just the default style. Not a fan. Not a fan of the default style. Oh, that's not too bad though. Kind of interesting. And I guess this uses the stable diffusion engine. Yeah, I'm not feeling it. Not feeling it. Let's do low resolution, see if that helps. Speaking of low res, my screen share looks kind of low res here. What's up with that? Let's try this isometric. Anyway, it'll give you all an idea. Oh yeah, you got to crank up the steps too. We'll do 55 generation steps. Default, I think, is 40. And prompt strength, do 30, which is the max. Let's see what it does. Oh, that's interesting. Huh. All right, let's try enhance. Yeah. Yeah, not feeling it. That's kind of neat. I like the way that slum looks. I don't even have slum in the, Wow, it's a trip. Comic book style. Let's see what that does. It's funny because I went to this other site and, you can actually, the main page of the site, I guess I'll go to that next. Yeah, I don't like that either. Let's see, share this tab instead. Bookmarks. Yeah, Lexica. Lexica.art. So it's also a generator, but I went through, like I said, about the time I figured out how to use it, I had already, went through the free ones. But notice these are pretty much all, the vertical size of a phone, right? So it's all people using it on phones, I'm assuming. But I was realizing, like, these are all fairly, like, positive, uplifting looking images, And then, like, most of mine are dystopian and, hell realm. It's like, man, I don't know. What does that say about me? That's pretty cool. I like that. That's interesting. Alexander Graham Bell repairing computers. Huh. Ghost in the Shell. That's interesting. I might have to come back to that one. Huh. Trippy. And I'm fairly dependent on, sort of piggybacking off of what other people do, since folks may know that I'm not able to visualize. As insane as that sounds, I'm one of a minority of the populace I don't see visual images in my head. Although I have, especially in my younger days, I had a damn near photographic memory for stuff I've seen, though. I'm very visual, but I don't visualize in my head. It's quite strange, I must say. I just thought, I didn't realize that I was different. I didn't realize that the other folks do apparently see a lot of things in their head. Interesting. Anyway, that's lexica.art. And you can, again, you can make an account and get some free credits, but then this is like a, monthly plan. Yeah, $10 a month. Yeah, $10 a month. I think I said 12, but yeah, you only get 1,000 images a month. It's like, I'm sure I think I've already made 1,000 for $10 on that other site. So yeah, anyway. But I think that one has like one of the newer, like, cutting edge engines, at least for now. And this stuff's all pretty much in its infancy, lest we forget. Let's see, do we have any music to get out of here on? Not really. Yeah, we'll get out on this. Thanks for watching. Bye.
I do it by myself. I don't trust nobody else. I'd rather do it by myself. When no one sees and no one tells. Ain't looking for no co-defendant. Ain't trying to have no one witness. I'll take this mud and make it home. Cause dirt is done when you're alone. Dirt is done when you're alone. Do my dirt up on my lonely. 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 Ain't holding nothing against my friends. But two or more ain't making sense. So once it's done, it dies right here. No truth to tell, or lies to hear. From my lips to my gun that blow. Ain't telling on myself or no. I'll take this mud and make it home. Cause dirt is done when you're alone. Dirt is done when you're alone. Do my dirt up, I'm my lonely. 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 Do my dirt up, I'm my lonely.